So I recently did a video on the cost of living in Cambodia, and it included rent and groceries and things like that, but what it didn't include was the cost of visiting Cambodia, so accommodations and tourist attractions. So this video is going to be about that. So the first thing that a lot of people are thinking about, of course, before they come here is the preparation before even coming, and what the first question is your flight. All I can say is that I paid $750 for a flight one way that brought me to Siem Reap. But what a lot of people do is they book a round trip flight to Bangkok, and then they just take one of the Asian Hopper Airlines over to Siem Reap or Phnom Penh or wherever they want to go. So that's a really good way of doing it. The second thing is what to bring, what gear do you need. This is what I'll say, this is the actual advice that I gave my friend who's coming to meet me in Siem Reap, is just bring clothes that you already have that are light, airy, comfortable. They're going to protect you from the sun, but they're also going to be appropriate to respect the local customs. And you're going to need to be covered up going into the temples and the pagodas and things like that. The only thing that I recommended that she buy, if she didn't already have, were really good walking sandals. So I bought TEVAs before I came, and they have been amazing. I wear them all the time, and that is the only thing that I would recommend someone buy if they don't already have it, and I'll link mine down below if anyone's interested. And then the third thing in terms of preparation before you come is vaccines, and these can add up depending on what you need. So you want to get all your routine vaccinations. Coming from the United States, those types of routine vaccinations that you can find on the CDC's website are covered by insurance. And then the only thing that's really that you should get is typhoid, which is about $90 to $100. There's a pill form that lasts for 5 years, and then there's a shot form that lasts for 2 years. So you do want to get that. If you're staying longer term, you're going to want to look at Japanese encephalitis. If you're working with animals, you're probably going to want to look into rabies. And depending on where you're going in Cambodia, if you're going trekking through the jungle, you might want to get malaria pills. Talk to your doctor about it, but Malarone is $3 a pill. So that is preparation, things that cost that you would probably want to look into before you even get here. The next thing, we'll just go in order here, is when you land is your visa to get into the country. That is $30 for a 30-day tourist visa, I believe, but of course look it up before you come. Then you're going to want to get from the airport to wherever you're staying, and throughout this video, I'll just talk about the major cities and also the things that I've done that I can actually speak to, and so those are mainly around Siem Reap, Battambang Bang, and Phnom Penh. So coming from the airport from Siem Reap, you're going to pay a $6 tuk-tuk ride. They may try to charge you $9, but if you walk through the gates, across the parking lot, through the gate of the airport, and across the street, you can get one for $6. And then from Phnom Penh, I believe you can get a tuk-tuk from anywhere from 6 to 10, and then a taxi from 12 to 17, depending on how good your negotiation skills are. And so that will take you from the airport all the way into town, which is a much longer trip than Siem Reap Airport. Anywhere else in town, for the most part, is going to be $2 for your tuk-tuk. You might be able to talk them down, or they might try to talk you up, but for the most part, you can expect to pay $2 for a tuk-tuk for a reasonable distance. And while we're on the topic of transportation, it's not the most exciting thing to start with, but we'll just go over buses and taxis going between the cities. So if you're in Siem Reap and you want to go to Battambang, you can expect to pay $4 to $6. $6 for Mekong Express, I would recommend. If you're in Siem Reap and Battambang and you expect to go to Phnom Penh or vice versa, you can pay $8 to $12. If you're interested in a private taxi, then from between Siem Reap and Battambang, you can pay around $40. And then between Battambang and probably Siem Reap too, I've never done it before, to Phnom Penh, it might be about $60 to $70 for a private taxi. And I actually took a private taxi from Battambang to Mandalkiri too, and that was $100. So it's all about how you can negotiate, but these are just some general cost guidelines that can help you out. And the next thing is accommodation, which is one that I didn't talk about in my last video because I just shared how much I pay in rent. Accommodation accommodation varies greatly. So if you're looking at hostels, you can pay $3 a night or maybe even $2, and then all the way up to, you know, some really fancy hotels in the big cities in Cambodia. But I would say if you are a budget traveler and you're looking for the hostels, you can expect to pay, you know, $2 to $3, or maybe even for some of the nicer hostels like $7, depending on the room. If you want an air-conditioned room, I think a fan could maybe you can maybe get a $10 room, and then if you want an air-conditioned room, you might pay something like $15. Again, these are all estimates based on just the experiences I've had. If you pay about $40, I think you can get a very decent, nice hotel in the major cities with a pool and even sometimes breakfast included. So I would say that if you want to do comfortable travel but not luxury, $40 is like a really good price range to budget for. And the next thing is everybody's favorite topic, of course, food. So again, varies greatly, but you can eat a meal, street food, rice and pork for $1 if you want to. Other local restaurants, you can pay between $1.50 to $2 for a meal. I usually end up just ordering fried rice with an egg, which is $1.50. And then you also have the Western restaurant options, which are, I would say, somewhere between $4 and $7. And then of course there's drinking while you're eating, and you can get a beer for as cheap as 50 cents. A lot of times they're $1, and then you can get cocktails for $2 to $3. And sometimes they're good cocktails, and sometimes they're not. And what else in terms of food? So if you want to know about groceries in a supermarket, you can check out my other video that I will link below on the cost of living in Cambodia, and that takes you through one of the supermarkets in Battambang. Alright, now for the more fun part. I'll just again go by city. So Siem Reap, Phnom Penh, Battambang, and Mandaluyong. And I haven't been to Sihanoukville, so I unfortunately don't have any information on that, but I'm going next month, so you can always keep watching my videos and see how much things cost when I go there. So again, starting with Siem Reap, just because it's so well known, a lot of people just jump right over to Siem Reap and they don't go anywhere else in Cambodia, unfortunately, but it's true. So the biggest tourist attraction, of course, is Angkor Wat. So that is, it used to be $20, and in February 2017, it increased to $37 for a one-day pass. And to be honest, I don't even know how much a 2 or 3 day, I think they only offer, one day is enough temples for me, but I'm gonna look up how much a 3-day pass is. Hold on. Okay, a 3-day pass is $62 and a 7-day pass is $72. But in addition to that, you also have to get a tuk-tuk for the day. So if you get picked up at like before sunrise and you have your tuk-tuk take you around through lunchtime, then that will cost you with tip about $20. So it's $37 plus $20 to do Angkor Wat for the day. There's a lot of other things to do in Siem Reap besides Angkor Wat. One of the most popular things is going out to see the floating villages. I haven't done this, but I did price it out at one point, and it's $30 per person for that day trip. What I did instead was just took the boat from Siem Reap to Battambang, which is a very similar thing. It goes through the same lakes and rivers, and it was $22. Okay, my battery just died. But, so the only other really tourist attraction I've done in Siem Reap was the War Museum, which is $5 plus you get a free guided tour, free because you have to tip them. And that was, you know, really nice. It would be perfect if you just had an hour or two to kill before you're catching a flight or something like that. And speaking of other things to do in Siem Reap, I just did a video on the cutest cafes in Siem Reap, and they're a great way if you've been to Angkor Wat in the morning and you just want to like chill out in the afternoon in some air-conditioned places. So I will link that in the description below. So moving on to Phnom Penh, the main thing to do there is see the killing fields and S21, which is one of the prisons that was used in the Khmer Rouge. And for that, you want to pay $22 for a tuk-tuk for the day, and then it's $6 each for the killing field and S21 I highly recommend them. They're very interesting, really well done, and definitely get there early. It's so much better if you get there first thing in the morning. And the other thing that I've done in Phnom Penh is the museum there as well, the National Museum, and it's $5 as well. And I would recommend that. It's right in the middle of town, so it's a good way to just kind of walk through and see those things. The other thing that I heard you can do is tour the Royal Palace. I haven't done that. I don't know how much it costs, but it would be a cool thing to check out in Phnom Penh. And then there is Battambang, where I live, and there's so much to do here. Well, I'm sure there's so much to do in the other cities as well, but of course I know way more about the things that are here. So I will just break it down really quick. One thing that you're going to have to do is the bamboo train. If you go just to the bamboo train and nothing else, it's going to be $5 for your tuk-tuk there and back, and then it's going to be $10 on the bamboo train, and then they're probably going to pressure you into buying something and tipping the driver. And then you can go to Phnom Sampo, which is going to be about $15 if you just go there and back, and then it's like another $2 to get in, and that is where you can go for a hike and just see some temples and stuff, but you can also see more of a killing field. It's not really a field, it was a kind of a cave that they've dropped people in, but very interesting. And then the coolest part is that you can see bats, like 1,000 bats fly out of this cave at dusk every single day, and I have videos on all of that stuff, which I can link below or make a playlist or something with all of them. Another thing that is very popular in Battambang is going to see the circus, and that I believe is $14 or $15, and then you're going to pay about $3 or maybe even $4 for a tuk-tuk there and back, because it's a little bit farther outside of town. And the bamboo train, Phnom Sampo, the circus. Well, Battambang isn't normally on people's lists or on their itinerary when they come to Cambodia, but I highly recommend it. It's an easy trip from Siem Reap if you're going to be there, and it's a good chance to get a little bit more of an authentic feel of Cambodia. What else do I need to talk about? Oh, Mondulkiri. So Mondulkiri is again, maybe not on a lot of people's itineraries, but if it is on yours, I highly recommend the Elephant Valley Project. There are a lot of elephant sanctuaries in that area, but I think this one is highly ethical, and I really felt comfortable going with them. You don't ride or feed the elephants or anything like that, but you observe them, and they're so knowledgeable and teach you a lot about not only elephants, but the deforestation in the area, and that was $55 for a half day, and they have all sorts of options available for you. Again, similar to the temples, a half day was plenty for me. So yeah, and if you're working for an NGO or you are Cambodian, then you get a discount on that. What else do I have to say? I think just a few miscellaneous items. Laundry, if you're here, I mean, it's really hot and sweaty and gross, so you might want to get your laundry done, and it's super cheap. So you can probably get it through your hotel, but if you just walk up to someone else on the street, I usually bring a bag of laundry. I can't remember how much it is like exactly per kilo, but I usually just bring a decent sized bag and usually pay no more than 65 cents or 75 cents. And internet. So they have a really good Wi-Fi in so many places in Cambodia, but it's also nice to have data on your phone. You're going to pay $2 for a SIM card, and then the plans that you can get vary from there, but I pay $5 for 4 gigabytes per month, and that also includes some phone and call. So compared to the United States at home, it's super cheap and super good. And there was one other, if you want to rent a bike. So if you want to rent a bike, you can, I think that's an awesome way to get around and explore and get out of the city a little bit, and that can be a really affordable, like, tourist thing to do that is $1.50 or $2 just to rent a bike. So by no means is that a comprehensive list of all of the costs in Cambodia, but those are the things that I've done that I can share with you, and it kind of can give you a feel for how much the other things would cost too. And if you want to know any more about the tourist attractions or the cities that I talked about, I have videos on almost all of them, so just go to my videos and search for them, or I'll make some playlists and link them below. If you have any other tips on prices, definitely comment them down below. If you want to know more about rent or groceries or things like that, then you can watch the other video I did on the cost of living in Cambodia, and everyone's second biggest question besides the costs in Cambodia is Cambodia safe? So I also did a video on that from my perspective. And lastly, there is a blog and a book called Move to Cambodia. You don't need to be planning to move here for it to be helpful for you, but it is super helpful in terms of getting from point A to point B, the best restaurants, and it just has really, really detailed logistical information that can help you plan your trip. So yeah, until next time, I think that's just gonna be my sign off. Like, so yeah, okay.